Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is another episode of Metal on a Budget with your host, Justin. And today we're going to be checking out the 5153 IBX by EvH. Let's go ahead and get a closer look at this thing and see what it's all about. Alright, so here we are with the front of the amp. There's not a whole lot going on for it. It is just a standard setup. You have your they don't even put input, they put insert. Just I guess to be different. I don't know. Then you have your selector where you can go from a blue channel to a red channel. If you dial back the gain on the blue channel, you can get a decent clean tone. It still breaks up pretty quickly, which is fine if you're into high gain metal. So you have your standard EQ. You have gain, low, mids, highs, volume, and presence. And so far, the potentiometers on this amp they feel really good. They're really smooth, and they seem to do something when you turn them. So let's go ahead and flip it around here real quick and just show you the back. So right here we have your input power. You have power on, operation standby, your fuse as well. You have power level where you can go 1/4 power or just full power, which is this amp is extremely loud. That is a big reason why I think people, if they're looking to get into a tube amp and they're just they're not really collecting gear, but they're wanting to use something to maybe gig with or even just practice with a band, this thing is fully capable. The first gen, I haven't played any of the other ones, but this one is extremely loud, and I've heard that this is the loudest of all of them that has come out. But that's just something that I've heard. That doesn't mean it's true. So has an effects loop, foot switch, and then resonance is on the back of this amp, which the knob is missing. It came like that. I did buy this used for right around, I think it was $250 because I got the cab with it, and I ended up selling the 112 5150 cab, which I didn't want to sell it, but sometimes we need money. It just is what it is. But I managed to hold on to this thing to at least, get some footage of it. You have an impedance 16, 8, and 4 ohms, which I like that. You can jump around on cabs and not be stuck to one cab. And then your speaker out. You have in the cavity here, you have some GT EL84s and then some 12AX7 preamp tubes. So I assume this is like a hybrid amp. This isn't like a full-on tube amp, but it sounds like a full-on tube amp. It could be a full-on tube amp. I don't know. I just play the gear. I'm not super knowledgeable in all the little words and stuff that go along with these amps. I do know some things, but I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a professional because I'm not. But I do believe if you're going to get your first tube amp or looking to start gigging and you want an amp on stage with a speaker cab to push something, this thing is amazing. If you can get it with the 112 speaker cab, it sounds good, but I just think 212 sound a lot better. It pushes more air, and it's a good stage presence if you're looking to play small venues and not mic up or use DI. This is a very effective way to get a good setup. So we're going to run straight into the front of this amp. We're not going to use any effects or any pedals. And then the cabinet that I'll be using today, which is my all-time favorite cab, is a Lyman 212 cab. This is actually made in Carolina. I'm not sure if it's South Carolina or what, North Carolina. I'm not sure. I just know it was made in Carolina, and I think it sounds really good with the stock speakers in it with this. So let's go ahead and plug this thing up and see what it can do. Okay, so it's all plugged up. That's the beauty of internet, is you can just skip, bam. But I do want to talk about another thing that is important to the metal on a budget to go wireless, and that's Lakido. These things are amazing. This is going on year 2 almost. Yeah, it's going on year 2 of using these religiously on and off the stage with band practice or just practicing at home. These are phenomenal. The battery life has lasted a long time. I have seen some people say that theirs don't last that long. I think those were faulty and they should be sent back. And I would hope that this company would send you a brand new set for free because they are super reliable. And I've had nothing but good things to say about this particular one here. So, and then the other one's right there. And it'll have a guitar on it and this. And these are better than anything else I've tried out there. These are like $30. I don't know if they've went up or not. But yeah, we're going to go super low gain or low tuned high gain platform for this situation. I am using my Schecter Hellraiser. And it's in drop G. So it is pretty low compared to what I like to run. I do like to jump around tunings a lot, but drop G is about as low as I'll go on a 7-string. But yeah, so let's go ahead and put the power on, turn everything down, and just start from scratch on the blue channel, and then we'll get into like more high gain. So here we are. I'm gonna go ahead and set the presence or the resonance all the way off. That all the resonance does is just kind of give it some oomph in the low end. I don't use a whole lot because especially when you're using such low tuned guitars, you don't need a whole lot of bass in your sound. But I just want to demonstrate that this amp is capable stock of making a low tuned 7-string, which some people wouldn't even consider that low tuned anymore. But for me, drop G is pretty dang low for a 7-string. I like to jump up into higher tuning. So we're gonna keep it on 1/4 mode so it doesn't blow y'all's ears out because this thing is extremely loud. So we'll just put a little gain on there and then we'll hit the volume and see what happens. Yeah. You see how it's already breaking up? Now this does have EMGs in it, so it's going to be kind of distorted to an extent. We'll just kind of turn it down a little bit here. And then, of course, you'll get a little more clarity of the notes when you bring up that presence a little bit. And we'll just bring up a little. I mean, this thing's super loud already. It's insane how loud this thing is. So yeah, pretty cool. You can get some cool stuff like, this is parallels. But enough of the clean crap. Let's get into this dirty distortion, okay, guys? That was fun, but I'd rather hire a guitar player to make the pretty stuff. Let's get into this dirty dirt. So we'll go ahead and just tune it down here and see what happens. So this is the dirty channel, the red channel. Okay, let's bring up the gain a little bit. Do a little bit high, a little mid, a little bass, and just see where it's at. And as you can see, it's not just for high gain. You can get some cool classic rock tones. But let's go ahead and put that gain at 1/2. See what happens there. A little bit noisier. Pretty cool. Now let's go ahead and get into the real high gain. That you throw some presence on there. We'll dial up the resonance a little bit. I don't like too much, especially with this low tuning. And then our mids are pretty low as well. So pretty low. Yeah, I mean, I'm not cranking this amp by any means. I do have the power up a little bit. There we gain. Sounding pretty good already. We can do a little bit more of that action. A little bit more high gain. I just think it is a perfect platform to throw pedals into it. That's what I use it for, as we'll talk for a second. I think it is a perfect platform to throw pedals into it, especially into the EvH Return. It sounds phenomenal no matter the way you go. But even the stock tone, you can even get, you know, that gent tone, which is pretty impressive for a tube amp without any pedals on it, because usually tube amps are flubby and not very tight. So that's kind of a thing with most tube amps, is they're kind of flobby unless they have a built-in noise gate. But even with this thing the way it is, it's still really tight, not getting any feedback, even though I have some pretty high output active pickups, and I got the gain pretty cranked out right now. So to be able to still get a good tight gent tone, that is impressive to me with just the stock. we know this thing can do some high gain stuff. If you really want to get crazy, you could be like, you do that after the burial stuff or between the burial stuff. Like this is cool. This one's fun. Whatever he does some crazy slippery stuff. So it can do, it is very versatile. I love that. I love that this thing is just taking this beast, because not many amps can you just plug in with such a low tuning, especially tube amps. They do sound phenomenal the more you turn them up, but at lower volume, bedroom volumes or recording volumes, for my personal studio, they are a bit much, and it's either really flubby or very loud. So to be able to get best of both worlds, to get that nice tube tone, that is sick. But let's go ahead and jump on to, I know this video is lengthy, but I really believe that if you're going to invest in an amp, I think these 5150s are amazing. Even if you want to just get the 112 combo, I think they're phenomenal amps. They're the best in the business, and they're still relevant to amps that are coming out to this very day. And I love that. I love that. I think they're extremely loud. I couldn't imagine turning this thing all the way up for you guys if y'all could hear that way. Let's go ahead and grab another guitar. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab my CR6 Schecter and try to do some drop C stuff and see how that sounds. So yeah, I mean, so far, just playing around with it with such a low-tuned guitar with no pedals, no compressors, no gates, no nothing, with these high output EMGs, and they do squill. I mean, they can squill. I've definitely heard this guitar do it one too many times for it not to fool me. So my thing is being able to get one of these for $250. If I was a younger, if I was still in high school when I was, a kid, and I was able to get something like this, oh my gosh, I wouldn't be able to stop turning it on and playing it. I mean, even in my, as I'm getting older, I still can't stop plugging into this thing and playing it. It's just too good. It's too convenient. If you're not doing the effects processors, which I am working on getting a certain effects processor on the channel, hopefully in the next few months, something that I want to use personally on stage. And if I don't use my rack mount for like smaller gigs, maybe use this with that pedal. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how that goes. But I do think that this is a bang for your buck because of the reliability, how good it is. Maybe I just got lucky, but I haven't really heard too much about them other than, just that little plastic down here kind of coming off. But other than that, this thing has been a complete workhorse. As a tube amp, I've always, growing up, having a tube amp has always made me nervous because I'm always afraid it's going to break or this or that. So to be able to get something that I feel 100% confident about, that this thing has taken everything I've thrown at it, I promise you. I mean, you literally have to get it struck by lightning, and I think still you could change the fuse and it'd still be good. I mean, that's how awesome this amp is, really. The only downfall is, there is one downfall that I can think of other than like just regular, stuff coming apart, is that it's not enclosed. So if you're outside and you don't have like the cover for this, if it rains, it's very easy for it to get in there. And I've had it get rained on. I've had ice on it. I mean, I've left this in extreme heat, and I've left it in extreme cold. And this thing is, like I'm telling you, I brought it in and there was frost on the tubes. Of course, I let it acclimate, and I didn't just turn it on with all that moisture on it. I let it set. I tried to, I didn't even blow it off. I just let it set, and then, the next day I went and turned it on, and that was months ago. So this thing has been through literally all terrain. I mean, snow, ice, rain, extreme heat, humidity. It has been through it all, so it can definitely hang out in the back of a trailer if you're traveling. And I fully believe this thing is going to power on and do what you need it to do. It is actually very resourceful on the tubes. I have gotten an insane amount of life out of these tubes. It has blown my mind how non-aggressive it is, because a lot of tube amps can be kind of aggressive if they're hot or anything, and it can burn those tubes up quicker, from what I understand. But this thing is very draw back, and it doesn't push the tubes super hard. Okay, I said I was going to grab the CR6, but I changed my mind. I think it's appropriate to do this Kramer, because this is kind of the EvH, inspired deal. And I'm a huge fan of all kinds of brands. I don't just love Schecter. I just think Schecter is a very good starting guitar because they're reliable, they're affordable. There's so many different unique models that you can really get something that makes you feel like that, you're the one that has this. Not many people have this guitar. That's what I love about Schecter, is the uniqueness in their instruments and all the different, binding and inlays, and I love that stuff. I love it. So, but I think this is appropriate to be playing with the EvH, because this is definitely what this is what Eddie would have done. He had his pickup, he didn't have no neck, he would tear all that out and just one volume and just bare bones. So if you're looking to get a first guitar, I think you can get these for like $150, $200 on the used market, and they are phenomenal. It does have a whammy. You can do die bombs, but I suggest upgrading the bridge before you get too crazy like I did, because now my whammy bar is loose. I have taken the springs out of this thing, so there's less springs, and it's still just kind of hard on that soft metal. So yeah, definitely maybe just get a Kramer with a trim system on it and just eliminate the issue I had. But let's see what it can do in drop C. I guess it would, wouldn't be a proper 5150 video if we didn't do a little bit of Van Halen stuff. So I think I can still play this one. Pretty good without any of the effects and everything. That sounds phenomenal. Okay, let's play this one. Those are Van Halen riffs. Those are not mine. Please don't come after me, YouTube. I am obviously inspired by Mr. Van Halen, and in my older years, I did like some of their songs growing up, but I was more into like Black Sabbath and Motley Crue and stuff. And then once I realized how much of a beast Eddie was, you can't go wrong. I mean, the dude shred. He's the best. He's one of the best. Dawkins, George Lynch. Those guys they're all phenomenal dudes. I mean, they have paved the way for what music is today, when it comes to like metal, things like that. They set the standard and they set the bar so high that people are still trying to get there, including myself. In this day and age, it's 2025, and yeah, I mean, it sounds phenomenal stock, especially with just something in a little bit higher tuning. Because when you get in such low tunings, I do suggest noise gates, compressors, things like that. There's this one pedal, a Fortin 66. I call it the Fortin, but it's a knockoff Fortin. This thing is really good to really cut through the mix with the lower tunings. Just a quick little thing. So there you have it. That's another episode of Metal on a Budget. I personally had a lot of fun making this video today. I'm not even going to lie. This amp is just so fun to play. It is nothing but a good time, and it's just a workhorse. You can't go wrong. This video is not sponsored. Today this is all gear that I personally paid for out of pocket, so you guys can check out the Metal on a Budget stuff, which also I use it. It's not just for the Metal on a Budget. I do use this stuff. I use this stuff religiously on a daily basis for practicing, you name it, for, with the band. I've played lots of shows with this thing. I've just taken it all over, and I've had nothing but good times with this amp, and it has done what I have needed it to do. And I'll probably never get rid of this amp unless I got like a brand new version of it. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and hold on to this thing probably for the rest of my life, because it has a lot of memories, and I think it's just a phenomenal amp. So I really appreciate everybody checking out today's episode. Without you guys, this channel wouldn't be anything. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate you guys tuning in and staying supportive in these hard times. I know that a lot of things have changed. Unfortunately, I don't have a computer at the moment, so everything you've ever seen has been done on my phone, and that's going to be changing very soon, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. I have everything I need to start miking these cabinets up and to just get better audio video quality. I've been saying it for a while now, and it's been a long time coming, but I'm super excited to be able to get that to you guys and kind of do what I've been wanting to do since I was in high school, and I finally mustered up the courage to come on here. And even if I don't have the best gear, I think that is appropriate, because this is Metal on a Budget, and just showing you guys that, like, just because you don't have the gear, you do have a phone, and you can still make content. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's one of those things that you have to do. Like, if you if you do it a lot, the more you record with your phones and the more you do things, the better you will get at it, and make the best. What I'm trying to say, moral of the story is, make the best of what you got until you can upgrade, until you can get to those goals you have set for yourself. And this channel has been very important for my mindset, the way I think. It has changed a lot about me just being in this field and doing what I'm doing now. So I really appreciate everybody, you know, supporting me and making me feel confident about what I'm doing. So you guys are the MVPs here. I appreciate you guys. And don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification button for all the latest content. It has been kind of slow. Cat cuts down, so I'm trying a new software. If this video gets released, I guess the software works. So I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to have a wonderful rest of your day.